What's up, guys? Blade Master here, bringing you game 2 of the 3 games that Fixer and I played for the Total War League. As part of the factions assigned to me, I have access to the Franks, which I've taken in this battle, and he has access to the Elements, which he has taken in this battle, and that means I am coming up with a severe faction disadvantage. Let's see if I can, turn the tables around. I've got 2 Germanic Lancers here with 3 Germanic Pikes behind them. I've also got a couple of Frankish Lancers and a total of 4 Germanic Archers with a Frankish General, Shock Cavalry Brace General. I've also brought a total of 4 Sword Heerban and a total of 4 Noble Germanic Horsemen, each with a single silver experience upgrade. With the Elements, Fixer has brought a total of 4 Germanic Archers. It looks like he's brought a mix of Protectorious Defectors and Noble Germanic Swordsmen. So it's interesting to see there's not a single Bejeweled Noble. He's also brought a total of 6 Noble Germanic Horsemen and Knodomar's entourage, triple bronze general, which is, I think, the deadliest general unit that you can get for your money right now in Total War Attila. 36 melee attack with the 20 bonus versus cavalry, or maybe even 30 bonus versus cavalry spears. 294 health, 59 melee defense, and 47 armor. And with brace, they're just such deadly units. Let's take a look at their charge bonus as well. 42 charge bonus for a melee cavalry unit is quite decent. So yeah, he's also brought a couple of Germanic Spearmen, which is interesting. The Germanic Spearmen could be a pretty big disadvantage for him, but if used right, and especially against a weak faction like the Franks, it's an okay risk to bring. Now he's taking shots against my Germanic Lancers with his Germanic Archers, which is terrible for me. Germanic Lancers have basically 0 missile block chance, so I'm forced to charge up with them. This bringing 2 Lancers straight away is part of my plan to entice him to bring his cavalry up and then use my Frankish skirmishers with their 30 bonus versus cavalry javelins to inflict some serious penalties. But they're too far away from my Germanic Lancers, and I'm able to pull away with 1, although it's taking significant casualties. The other ones stayed in combat, and I'm also fighting into that general blob with Flaming Shot. Here, fighting with my Frankish skirmishers, he's going to try and pull out with his Noble Germanic Horsemen because I've got my pikes in support there. He's just going to move to the flank, although these Frankish skirmishers are getting some decent shots in. Already killed 5 Noble Germanic Horsemen, and you can see they've taken a lot of HP damage because that charge from my Noble Germanic just completely slaughtered a lot of them. As for the other flank, I'm just taking some casualties from his Germanic Archers, but nothing too major. He's bringing his Protectorious Defectors here. I'm using my Noble Germanic Horsemen in diamond formation to get a proper charge on his Noble Germanic. And then I'm going to bring my Sword Heerban to charge in. Already taking so many casualties just from the remnants of that charge. But yeah, his Noble Germanic Horsemen really haven't done too much. Bringing my Sword Heerban late into the battle here. But the thing was, I wanted them to use their 100 missile damage javelins or whatever, the Francisca, as much as possible before engaging them. My Frankish skirmishers have done decently. They seem to have killed a lot of his Noble Germanic Horsemen. The other ones really haven't done too much. I'm forced to bring my Frankish General here, and I think I'm going to try and get a charge in on his Noble Germanic Horsemen while they're rear charging my Sword Heerban. This big blob here has mainly turned out in my favor. But this blob really isn't turning out in my favor because the Germanic Spearmen are going to destroy my Noble Germanic Horsemen, and he still has his Knodomar's entourage here that's going to circle around it. That's going to be a huge nuisance for me. He's charging in with his Noble Germanic Swordsmen, but my Germanic Pikes, yeah, they're not going to do too well. Even though I tried to put them into a bit of a denser formation, and they are getting, these Noble Germanic Swordsmen are getting slaughtered by my Germanic Archers. Here, his Knodomar's entourage has rear charged my Sword Heerban, and they're going to get completely destroyed. And he's basically breaking through my left flank with his excess amounts of cavalry. They really haven't taken any damage here. Bringing my Frankish skirmishers here, and they're going to let loose a pretty devastating volley, I think. They are very tired because they've already used their precision shot ability. But that 30 bonus versus cavalry javelin, which is really going to do a lot of damage onto these Knodomar's entourage. Here, my Germanic Frankish skirmishers are attacking his noble Germanic horsemen in melee. Frankish general here not doing much. My sword hairband have been a complete waste of money. Just terrible units, and that's mainly the big problem with the Franks is that all their melee infantry units are terrible. Chronomar's entourage taken some casualties, but now that they engaged the Frankish lancers in melee, not really much I can do. Screening off his noble Germanic swordsman with one of my Germanic pikes here, and getting some shots onto their rear with my his Protectoris defectors with my Germanic archers. His noble Germanic swordsman dying to my Frankish skirmishers in melee because they do have 32 melee damage, which is the 20 bonus versus spears, I believe. Not the 30. I think the noble Alani is, and a couple of others are the only units that have 30 bonus in terms of cavalry and skirmishers. Otherwise, it's just for the spear units, I think. Pulling back my Germanic archers here, trying to chase away with my Germanic pikes onto his Protectoris defectors. Here, my Frankish general has no choice but to stay in this battle and try and hold off his noble Germanic horsemen for as long as possible. It's going to be very tough for me to win this game. He's smartly pulled out his Knodomar's entourage and his remaining noble Germanic horsemen. He's bringing in his Germanic spearmen who have done very well. And credit to him for using his spears very well here. These spears are still, I think he's still got a spear unit in the game here. Yeah, and they've done quite well. Using them defensively like that and bringing them only after the cavalry has been used in the game is a smart way to use your spears. Chronobar's entourage still taking some casualties, and so are his noble Germanic horsemen from the huge range that these Germanic archers have. I'm going to pull around with my Frankish skirmishers. This leaves them in a very good position because they can either rear shot these Protectoris defectors, or they can they can stay in protection of this entire flank because his cavalry are about to break through. Although now that my general unit has routed and my general is dead, this game is basically over. It's a decisive victory for my opponent, I think, even though they probably will say close victory. I think my fixer he beat me in terms of strategy and in terms of army picking. Close defeat to me. Pretty decisive if you ask me. Germanic lances didn't really do too much, and my noble Germanic horsemen were a huge disappointment. Frankish skirmishers did more harm than good, I think. A lot of them got some friendly fire kills, I think, but at the end of the day, they did get a lot of kills on cavalry. Sword hairband, there's just not much I can say about them. Just terrible units. Germanic pikes did what they had to do. Cheap unit, you can't really expect a lot of kills from them. Germanic archers, though, even though they got a lot of shots in, just didn't manage to get many kills. I think that's mainly down to a vast portion of his army being very missile resilient, not including the noble Germanic swordsmen. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more. Peace.